What's up? My name is Sunisha F, and I am a life skills coach who helps people show up in the world differently through personal, professional, and business development. I definitely just been thinking a lot about I'm in this space where I see a lot of people having babies. I see a lot of people getting married. I see a lot of bridal showers, baby showers, weddings, and it's beautiful. Just a year ago, I was my own, bride. I got married, and I, had a really great, time with that, and had a great bridal shower and just felt the love and the support. And I know a lot of the times when I was single, I was just out there helping other people. Like I've helped with so many marriages. I've sang in weddings. I helped set up and tear down weddings. I was there for bridal showers. I was there for baby showers. I was helping set up and tear down for that, and whatever else like I could be of service. Like that's what I did, because that's what the lane I wanted to grow in. And usually when you want a specific space where you want to grow or you want to have and manage, I'm driving, that's why I'm not looking at the camera, so please excuse that. But a lot of the spaces that we want to grow and show up in, we should serve in. I think if you want to be a mother, help some women babysit their kids, learn about those things, get into some churches where you get into the child nursery, just do certain things to manifest that in your life. If you want to be married, bless other people's marriages, pay for their marriages, serve in their weddings, just be respectful of people's marriages, do things in decency and in order, and those things will find you. Be honest and be open about what you want. I know when I was single, I would tell people like, yeah, I want to be married, and then sometimes like it was like to a point where some people would be uncomfortable with it. Like a lot of other single women who genuinely wanted to be married, but they weren't as open, or they just weren't that I don't know what it is. Like a lot of people get wrapped up in singleness sometimes to where they think that because I'm saying I want marriage, I am desperate, or because I proclaim it to the roof that I'm just, I don't know. It's just like this weird energy I would get, but I didn't really care because I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. I know I was a wife. I know I wanted to be a wife, and that didn't take away from my singleness because I was amazing as a single person. I was serving, I was giving, I was using my time, I was praying, I was fasting, and some of those things you need to do while you're married, that's preparing you for marriage. I think a lot of us get to a place of singleness, and then we actually meet our partner, we get scared, we withdraw. I did all of that as well. I would break up with my guy that I was dating, and then I would feel so afraid and fearful, like I'm doing something wrong. And that was a part of the journey because I just didn't really understand, because you learn all these things becoming being a single person. You shouldn't be fornicating, you shouldn't be having certain conversations, you shouldn't be doing certain things. And now, like, once you get married, you have to like retrain your brain, and sometimes it's still a little bit hard for me, but in reality, you still do what you got to do, and at the same time, like, you just be open with it. I just would encourage anybody to be open, be honest, be real with yourself. If that's what you want, go for that, and don't be afraid to say that to people, even if it get on people's nerves. Like, this is your desire, don't be afraid to pray for it. I was praying for my husband before I even met him, before I even knew who he was, before I even knew what he looked like. I didn't have no dreams of nobody as far as knowing who my husband was. I was having other dreams of just other people, like being as a distraction, and I feel like that's a whole nother video I could honestly do at some point. But when he came, I had to really pray because I was afraid, but in reality, I still was honest. I made my heart really honest, and I made my heart open to what God had for me. And it wasn't the typical person that you think you should always have. Sometimes it's not gonna he might not be what you expect for him to look like. He may not be in the certain financial space that you expect him to be in. He may not be in any space that you expect. But in reality, if you just focus on God, focus on prayer, trust God that he's gonna answer you, and wait for those answers. I would pray, and then God would send me a dream, and I still woke up afraid, like, this is not God, this is the trick of the enemy, all of these things. But as I grow with all of this things we've been through, relationship wise, and even going into marriage and in marriage, I see the fruit of us just being just transformed. We're just being transformed, we're being knitted together, and we have our issues. Everybody got issues, but it's for the betterment. Like, it's for the betterment of our relationship, because it's God chiseling those things that we need to work on, that we're not able to work on your own. In singleness, you think like once you like get to a certain space and level of commitment to God and things like that, you think like, wow, okay, I've arrived, I made it to a different space. I'm not like so desperate about it, but I'm open to it, I'm willing, but I'm also okay being single if God doesn't bring that. So you feel in a good space, so then God will like open up that door. Then the person comes and there's like this other stuff you ain't never experienced before, like what, like, you know. And then you get married and there's a lot of other things that you just haven't experienced before, and there's things that you have to learn, and it's a consistent journey of learning. And honestly, it's a blessing. Singleness and marriage is a blessing, and if you embrace it, if you're honest with where you want to be, if things aren't where you want them to be, whether that's in marriage or singleness, just speak those things out. This is what I desire, this is what I really want, and talk to God about it. And it was a specific thing I talked to God about. Like, it was so funny, I think it was like the same day I was praying about it, and then my husband walked through the door and it was the exact thing I was praying for. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, this is so weird. Like, how, I know you don't control people, you know, like, it's just so weird. Like, I know you don't control people. People have their own will, but it's honestly a beautiful thing, because then you kind of see like, wow, my husband's heart is with God. That's what it lets you see, like, you worried about the wrong things. Let me deal with him, and how he communicates with me, how he communes with me is our thing. Worry about yourself, you know. So I think a lot of the times, you know, we just don't see the result, or we don't know how to go about it. But just go about everything with a pure heart. If your heart desires to be married, say that to God. Pray for your husband, pray for him. If you're married and maybe you want a specific thing, pray for that about God, and just let it open up, you know. And just embrace every season that you're in, you know, and give yourself time to get there, especially when you haven't done it before. For me, it was so new to be like celibate and abstinent, and really like not just abstinent in a way of, oh, I'm not doing anything with any guys, but I wasn't entertaining a single soul. My phone was dry, no like attention from guys. Even when I was like walking down the street and I felt I looked fire that day, like there was literally no guys. Like, I'm like, dang, like I would see a guy, he would look me dead in my eyes and he would smile. One time I was like so distraught by something, I was sad, and I went in my car, I was walking out of a store, and it was 3 guys. So I'm thinking like, here we go. He was just like, you look so sad, smile. And I looked up like, oh yeah, because I was really just distraught by a certain situation that happened. And he was like, it looks like you need a hug. And he actually just gave me a hug and walked away. I was like, and it wasn't like inappropriate. He wasn't like trying to hug me in a way where he was trying to get close to any body parts. It was like one of them little church hugs, but like, I see you, I know you going through it, and it's gonna be okay. And I felt like that was God, like what I was going through. I'm like, and they just walked away, and they were just laughing, and you know, I could tell like they was lingering, but they wasn't disrespectful or lustful or anything like that. I was just like, that's weird, you know. But I honestly embraced it. I was like, thank you, I really needed that, you know. And he was like, you're welcome, and he just walked away. And I was like, okay, like, you know. But it just wasn't like I wasn't getting any attention, and I wanted it, you know. I mean, we all like a little attention here and there, you know, but it's okay. Like, I developed a beauty within myself, so when I would like walk past cars and I would see my reflection, like I saw myself with beauty. I didn't see myself like, dang girl, you bad, like, you know, turning it around, trying to show a little something, because I used to do that, you know. But it was different. Like, I was covered, I fully covered myself. I started walking around like tying my jacket around my waist, so it just wasn't like, I mean, you still gonna show, because I was, you know, I'm still thick, but you know, like, it just wasn't like showing a lot. Like, so it just was very different. I was covered, no cleavage, no makeup, hair was natural. I stopped putting heat in my hair, and it wasn't me trying to just compensate for something, or it wasn't me just feeling like, oh, I need to change. It was just the deliverance thing for me, and I just wanted to be seen for who I was, you know. I wanted to be seen for my heart, you know. And I looked at so many different girls in church, and I just was so inspired by them, because they were just doing it every day, single women with children, just doing it, you know, and not trying to be like every girl we see on TV. They just were being themselves, and just, you know, we all have our own fair share of stuff that we need to work on, or we just feel within ourselves. But it was just a beautiful thing to see, so I was really inspired by that. And then I would follow other women who were really modest and just growing in their femininity, and I wanted to do that too. Like, so I just started to be led by the Spirit on things that I needed to do. So it wasn't for me to try to copy anybody else. It was just God showing me, like, these are some great examples. So use those examples. And he walked me in a really, really great, you know, journey. And I'm really appreciative of that, because even till this day, I'm still wanting to be modest. I want my husband to see my heart. You know, I want him to see a lot of stuff, you know, but I want him to see my heart. That's what I want him to know. I want him to know that he can trust me with his heart, you know, and that's something that I'm still growing in as a woman. But I'm really, really, really just wanted to encourage women to just genuinely be honest with what you want from your heart. It's okay. And if people don't understand that, some people don't, people will reject you. Like, people will make it seem like you're being too sensitive. People will make it seem like you're being, I don't know, clingy or whatever the case is. If I'm talking to you from my heart as a person who has a heart that has feelings and they matter, if I'm talking to you about my feelings, and even if I'm inaccurate because we misjudge situations, I would like to be treated with respect and love and, you know, kindness, because that's what I desire. I want to be that for other people, you know, and we all still got a work to do, you know, and that's okay. So if that is something that you genuinely desire, then just be honest with your desires. Don't let other people choose who you are. Don't let other people choose what you should feel. Don't let other people choose what you should think. You know, it's just about what you genuinely want. If that's what you want, ask God to show you the way. How do I gain these things without losing myself? How do I gain these things with your blessing, so that I know when you bless it, it's going to flourish, you know? And sometimes, you know, you're gonna have those days where you just fall off, or you might go back into your old ways, and that's just called grace. All of that stuff is grafted in grace. So if you genuinely want to be married, if you genuinely want to grow as a single woman, just let God lead you and talk from your heart. Where do you genuinely want to be? And be honest. Even if you're single and you want to be married, even if you feel like you haven't made the best choices, it's okay. We all haven't, you know, but I know for me, I made some horrible choices with dating and relationships. And one relationship I just completely let go of, and the next day I was on a different path. I said, I'm not doing this no more, and I became another person within that moment. But it was because of that person's rejection that catapulted me into who I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing, and it really transformed my life. So a lot of rejection definitely is God's way, not just of protecting you, but God's way of shifting you into a different space, because that pain is going to push you into your purpose. So I definitely just say to speak from your heart, observe from your heart, live through your heart. And if your heart fails you, God will never fail you. So just keep asking God to work on your heart.